AMPC. The instructions which you have heard, everybody read. Come on now, AMPC. The instructions which you have heard from me, along with many witnesses. He said, now look at what he said. He said, so, Barreza, come. Come. David, come. Star boy. Stand. So he said, this is me. This is Paul. Let's say Paul is my father in the Lord talking to me. Now he says, and the instructions which you have heard from me amongst many witnesses, your brother. He said, transmit. What does the word transmit mean? Give me something. Give me something. Give me. Okay, let me use this. He said, this which you have heard. He said, transmit and entrust. He said, as a deposit to reliable, faithful men who will be competent and qualified to teach. Remember, I'm a teacher. Hello, follow me now. Follow me. Are you following me? Everybody. I am the teacher. He said, and this was handed over to me. He said, this thing you have received. He said, transmit and trust it. The word entrust means this is something is not just anybody. This person must have been trained. This person must have been trained to a level of competence that when I hand it over this, he said he should be competent and qualified, not just to hold it. You know that after me now there was another person who was talking to me. Come on now, follow me. So because this thing in just this verse captured 4 generations. Paul was talking. He said, there is something I handed over to you, Timothy. He said, take this thing, hand it over to competent people. You have handed it over to competent person. And talking about the personality of this person I'm handing over, he said this person must be qualified to teach. And he's not qualified to just receive. He's qualified to teach others, another person. So this is me in church. I therefore decide, no, I am the pastor. I love being a superstar. So I'll just stay. Every day I will teach you. Blah, blah, blah. And you say, wow, right on, sir. It's beautiful. I was so blessed. So you are taking, receiving. You are being blessed. But I do not take time to ensure that you grow to competence. Are you following what I'm saying? I do not take time to grow to ensure that, what's that English name? Salvation. I wanted you to say, I did not take time to ensure, because salvation is saved, or when your name is salvation. So I do not ensure that salvation is saved, and not just saved, but is able to transmit. This your name is spoiling the thing. To be able to hand salvation. Do you understand? Not him. Come here, move here. Let me use David. So, to ensure that David is saved and is able to hand salvation over to him. Do you understand? So, I just stay here. Even sometimes, you know, the counsel is not to ensure that David is saved. Look at the scriptures. Look at it. Look at the scriptures. What is the counsel? said that the emphasis is on the competence. How competent and qualified. So if what I'm handing over to him is salvation, competence, and qualification, and he's handing over to him again salvation, competence, and qualification, what does that make this guy? What does that make him? This is competence. This is being qualified to teach. This is salvation, and I hand it over to him. He hands it over to him. What explain if they tell you to define this guy? What will you define now? What are his qualities? He's competent. He's qualified to teach. So when somebody is qualified to teach, what does that make the person? A teacher. What proves that he's a teacher and qualified to teach? Because he's teaching another person. You wonder why you are thousands of miles away from where Jesus gave the Great Commission, and we are gathered here talking about it. If it was about gathering a group of people and just teach them, they are saved and they are excited. Did you understand what I'm saying? Yes, how is it that we are in Nigeria and we're talking about the same Jesus? In North America, they are talking, in everywhere they are talking about it. Because people were not just saved. People were not just church goers. People were not just excited staying in church. It was not a generation that was concerned about the quality of where and when they were doing church. The person that taught me a teacher, I a teacher, him a teacher, him is a teacher, and he's handing over to the same to produce another competent person. God bless you. So there's a system that is developed to pass on the same message. 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 So they must go through a form of training. Paul said they must be qualified teachers. So it is a chain reaction. If it is broken, the system is broken, then there is problem. Chain reaction. So the Bible said in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11, if you read it down to 16, Ephesians chapter 4, 11 to 16. And look at it, do it in New King James. Do it in New King James. Are you following me? Come on now. Are you still following me? Are you sure you are following me? So do it in New King James. Everybody, let's read together. And he himself gave some. Come on, everybody, make sure you're reading. Gave some to be what? Apostles. Gave some to be what? Prophets. Gave some to be what? Evangelists. Gave some to be what? Pastors and teachers. Of course, like I always said, it's fourfold ministry, not fivefold ministry. If you know English, you know that and this and shows that these two is akinokwa is one. So rice, beans, and plantain is one food. They'll ask you how many foods you say I ate two. No, you ate one. The beans and plantain is one. So for now look at it. He said for what? For the equipping of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, verse 13, till we all come to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So look at it. He said, look at that. Look at the purpose is so that we come to the unity of what? Come on now. Faith, and to the knowledge of the Son of God, to the perfect man, and the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. Verse 14. Then that we should no longer be children. Why do you come to a church, you see Yes, there are 100,000 people. There's one person there. I'm talking, doing drama, doing magic, and 100%, 100,000 of them are foolish. Children tossed away by every wind of the. Why? Because nobody is exposed to any form of training. Training is not the same thing as. How many of you know that you can't be trained in a crusade? Can I tell you this one? Should I tell you this one for free again? For example, if you love singing, you can't be trained in a choir that is 1,000 people. Choir that is 1,000 people is a good platform for people that are already trained. But to be trained, no pastor can directly, effectively train 1,000 people. Emphasis on directly. If you want to train 1,000 people, you are going to train it through a structure and a system. And that structure will be a training system that will have to train people that are training others, that are training others, that are training others with the same resource and material. That is how all those things can be trained back. At the end of the day, they say, I was trained under Love City. I passed through BLI, and some of them I don't even know them. But because there is a system of training on ground, those people experience the same thing. That is when. But if it is to say that I come to a class and there are 1,000 BLI students, and I will not know them by name. I won't be able to know their abilities. I won't be able to engage them. Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, had 12. Huh? Are you following what I'm saying? So, look at verse 14. Are you following me? Just follow me. Verse 14. Have you got it? And we should no longer be children tossed by every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men, in the cunning craftiness of deceitful plotting. This is where 98% of Nigerian Christians are. Nobody, you attend church, you say you are being trained. It's not true. I like church that everywhere is so nobody is training you. You are just attending an event, service. Except a place that has systems. Look at verse 15. But speaking the truth in love, may grow up in all things into him who is head, Christ. Verse 16. From whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the effective working by which every part does its share, causes growth of the body for the edifying of itself. So look at the problem now. So the gifts that God gave in Ephesians chapter 4, which is the prophets, the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastor and teacher. Now, that is meant to be for the edifying of the church, the building of the church, the growth of the church. But now the same thing became the reason for the rotting of the church. It became the reason for the dying of the, because edifying means, he said, till we all grow to the same stature. So if you come to a church, you just see 1, 2, 3, 4 matured people. In a church of 1,000, the rest of them are in the pews, babies. Do not understand left or right. Do not understand it because there is no direct. So, because people are told that the ministry is left for us. It's left for me, that is the pastor. is left for me and the pastoral team. So what you do is you come and listen to what we have to say. Then when you listen to what we have to say, you are blessed. After being blessed, you go back and come next Sunday to listen to what we have to say again. That was not, God's hand is not in that. God's hand is not in it. So what is therefore the church? The church was meant to be designed from what 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2 said. It means that the time from you being saved and you being turned into a leader should be continuum. It should be like this. That immediately you are saved, we are meant to pass you through a system that should be able to bring you to leadership, to be able to help save others, to be able to help lead others. If saving is a big problem for you, to be able to help others mature. Because the essence is so that you will no longer be children. Sincerely, in this church, how many children do we have? How many spiritual children that do not understand left or right? That don't even have a Bible. First, we need to ask God for forgiveness. Do you know when Paul was writing to the 7 churches in Revelation? There's a writing of Paul to the 7 churches in Revelation. The 7 churches. Those 7 churches were the area where Paul was born. You know, all those 7 churches are located where? Do you know where? In Turkey. Those 7 churches he was writing, they are located in Turkey. They were churches that were existing at that time. They were just used as symbols to describe the attributes of churches, but they were at that time physical churches. Church at Laodicea, church at Philadelphia, all these churches were located in Turkey. Now Turkey is 98% Islam. That Turkey was at a time 100% Christians. I went to, of course, Paul evangelized Europe. I was in Spain one day and I said I wanted to go to church. At the end of the day, I didn't go to church. Couldn't find church. You know the way I'm saying this thing, it sounds, I could not find church on a Sunday morning. I used the internet, search. The one that they showed me, that looked at, when I went, used cab, went there, after everything, came there, they say he's no longer there. I just told myself, the way I'll just be walking around this place now, looking for church, I said, let me just go back to what we were doing. Went back. Church. I'm talking about the people that evangelized also. You go to UK, all the old churches that we are sitting 1,000 members, 2,000 members, 3,000 members. There was a church that was given to a man of God in Nigeria recently, free. The church was owned by one of the foremost U.S. evangelists that was sitting hundreds of thousands. If you see the church facility, he gave it as a seed to Ibiome. And I was talking to one of my friends. He said, wow. I said, leave wow. The children cannot manage. Nobody is there. Nobody is in the church. Church is empty. So, in order, because this is the legacy of their father, probably they didn't want to. Their father is a general in the history of Christianity outside the Bible. You know what I mean? There's no way you will write another Bible, you won't put their father. So they needed somebody else. Like, for example, in Nigeria, where something is still happening because they know if somebody like that maybe takes over it and starts a church, the people, Nigerian people and maybe Africans will also gather and the memory of their father will live on. I did the analysis and that is what I felt. Because if you go to a place like UK now, British people that brought evangelism, that went all the way to bring the gospel to us. If you go to those places, churches are turned to hotels, churches are turned to mosques, churches are turned to museums, clubs, churches are turned. That is big facilities that used to have thousands of people. Why? Because pastors had thousands of people in the distance and they were just the superstar. Teaching to people every day and they were just coming to take and go. Coming to take to be excited. It's paining me, my left ear. Pray for me. My hand. Can you pray, sir? Can you pray that my husband will come quick? Can you pray? Yeah. Can you pray that this one? Can you pray? I need that job or I die, pastor. I need now. So we were raising Christians. They were raising Christians that were just coming to do what? Take, that we are concerned about their own, concerned about their job, concerned about their. Why Islam was raising bombers. People that will sacrifice their life, their families will permit it. Do you know where when you go to even some of all those areas where there are less few percentage of Christianity, if you go there, the Christianity you're going to find there is Catholic. Because certain families sit down and look at their child and say, you can go, don't give birth to child. We don't want any child from you. You're a man, oh, go. And it's not a problem for them. They are happy, excited to have released that person to serve God. You are telling me your wife, I have emotional problem. God is looking at you. You have emotional problem. God will ask you, what is your problem? You will talk one rubbish then. God will say, I saved you. Jesus was very clear when he was making demands on the people that were following him. He told them, said, if you place your hand on this plow and look back, you are not worthy. He said, leave the dead to bury the dead. He said, you will give up your house. He said, for the Son of Man has no house. Foxes have holes where they sleep. He said, my meat is to do the work. That's why you are busy having emotional problem. I've said, I've never had emotional problem. Busy doing the work. The one that doesn't come, I'll be working till it comes. But to pause and be over worried and stop the work because of a physical thing that has not come. You know, they don't bond that. Something that will not last, that is not eternal, that you just enjoy few years and step into eternity where the thing you will live, you will enjoy for the rest of that eternity is dependent on what you do here. You allow something temporary to distract you. You know you are anointed to sing. What is stopping you from being the best of what you say is job? you are meant to, in fact, why you are saved is to grow to maturity. You did not even make yourself available to grow to maturity so that you will be able to raise other mature people. The mandate over your life is to raise others. You have not even allowed yourself to mature. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you. Are you getting what I'm saying? The mandate over your life is to raise other people. But you've not released yourself even to be raised. So the same apostles and the teachers and prophets became the problem. Shatalaba, can I prophesy to you? Can I speak to you? See, listen to me. Where I am now, the depth and the level where I am, you can't reach it. You cannot. Who are you? Which oil do you have? Have you prayed? Have you prayed for 48 days straight? Who are you? Have portals been opened to you? Do you know the realm and the dimension and the depth? So Christianity has turned to mysticism. Realms and depths that we don't understand. The simple ABC things in God. Because some people want to be superstars. See, if I see your face, I prophesy. You want to be superstar. Love City, are you ready? I am coming with power. So what has that? Listen to me. It's very important we understand, because after this meeting, a lot is changing about this ministry. A lot. What do you mean? So you are coming with power to do what? No, it's very important we understand what I'm saying. Follow what I'm saying. I'm looking for the right English word. Succinctly. Follow what I'm saying. Hey. Look at it. So what are you trying to say? The whole of city that you are coming to meet with power, they must not have been children of God. No, they shouldn't be saved people. No, now. No. That you are coming with power is not for saved people. If any of my coming does not equip you, is against God. If my coming here as a prophet is not coming to make other prophets here become better prophets, no, then I came amiss. Follow what I'm saying. Should we run through the Ephesians chapter 4 again? Verse 11. Run through it again. Run through it again. Very fast. 4:11. Maybe in King James, New King James. And he himself gave apostles, he gave all these people. Why? Verse 12. Verse 12. For the equipping. Everybody read now. Come on now. Did you see the first one? Go back again. Go back again. Go back to 11. Go back to 11. And he himself gave apostle. So when apostle is coming to this church for an apostolic meeting, 12. Did you see anything that looked like what you needed there? You are the one that made yourself bundle of needs. That's the arthritis. He moved from leg, he's down head. And the pastor or the apostle is busy praying for the leg, praying for the. Tell you, no problem. Okay, I'll do 7 days. Okay, come back. So next week, he said, so when you came last year, the head right now is my knee, you know. So this year's old. So No, so you are dependent on, instead of my job is to equip you. So if the Lord has released me to the church as an apostle, if I am going to the churches, except I am going out on an outreach, then if I go out on an outreach, I use the apostolic ministry to minister things in the apostolic way to them, and immediately I have ministered to them, I am pushing them next thing towards equipping them. From the day the person said, I give my life to Christ, after I have done my apostolic or evangelical or pastoral ministry or prophetic ministry, and the person says, I give my life to Christ. So when we bring the person to the church, the person is meant to go through a system of growth that its basic reason is to do what? To equip the person for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ. Verse 13. Why? Verse 13. Till we all. Did it? Everybody read verse 13. Till. Go back. Till pastors. Till prophets. Till evangelists. Till he said till we all. The essence of the ministry is that at a time, Pastor Steve does what I can do. At a time, good news does what I can do. The thing is meant to bring all of us to become equal. But at the beginning, we won't be equal. So, the people will be equipping. So, I'm raising pastors to become like me. If there are other supportive ministries like say somebody is a singer or somebody is into administration, the person is raising other administrators to become administrator par excellence. So when the head of the department in the royal keys sees people that have potential, the person is excited. He cannot wait to raise them immediately to know everything a HOD knows. Not to subject them to be what? To be under him perpetually. No. So, the way I've looked at choir people, what am I trying to raise? I'm trying to raise, if they are 15, I'm trying to raise 15 head of departments. That is what will make them not to sit dormant. That is what will make them that tomorrow, instead of Christianity and the fire that was handed over to us die like it died in Turkey, instead of going down, is expanding. Because when you remember that when you have handed over to him the ability to be a head of department and also to produce head of department, what will happen? Because you have given him that ability, the ability will push him to start looking for people he will teach. So when Henry comes to church, and 1, 2, 3, 4, all of you are already head of departments, he knows he can't teach you people. Come on now. He knows he can't teach you. So what will happen? So on Sunday after service, they say somebody comes new to church and the person enters choir department. Because the rest of us are HODs, you see everybody rush. Because everybody is looking for who to lead. Not in a place where even the leader is not leading. Then the other people. So everybody just. So your department becomes an exit route. People, they put people in the department, they follow from the back and leave. Verse 13 again. Verse 13. He said, till we what? Come on now. Till we, come on, everybody read it. He said, till. Say it if you are included in this we all. Say it till we all. So what did you come to church to do? Did you come for prophesy to me, Papa? Prophesy, mommy. Help him, help her. You are jumping from one ministry to another because you do not know there is a mandate over your life where you are meant to come to the unity of the body. And the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. For everybody. Pastor, please, I want somebody to see you. There's somebody I want to see you. He's having his leg is paining him. Remember, he carried the person from our and say, Pastor, pray. Why are you there? The design was meant to be that when you are in our water there, when you are where you are living, you have met that person, and the person says, if you have come to the fullness of the stature of the same thing that manifests in the man of God, you will lay your hands upon the person and you cast out the demons, and people will gather there. You start the expression. That is it. How did our church in Cameroon start? Is it because somebody went there Sunday morning, looked around, used the sitting room of the people that brought him and turned it to church? Because the person has matured to understand. Some other person there will be saying, church, where do you attend churches? No, not, nowhere. I just sleep. Send him man. Send somebody. Somebody needs to come. Till we all come to what? Look, show verse 13 again. Come on now. Till we all. Everybody, we all includes who? Who is your name? Includes who? We are. Not some people. Not some selected people. I've said it. There's no person that has the energy to pastor 1,000 people. Even Jesus. Jesus had, if you watch 1 Corinthians, you see where they were talking about, even the Acts of the Apostles, talking about 120 people that were waiting in the place of waiting for the Pentecost, 500 people that he appeared to after he had resurrected, and all those things. But when you look at it, he worked closely with 12 people that he impacted into. That over a time when they now say, they said, this one. Now, Jesus came for the whole world, though. The mandate over his life was over the whole world. But he put his energy in 12 people because he knows if I reproduce myself in these people, it will start. It will be a multiplication. Jesus was able, the first set of people that Jesus raised were leaders who are able to hand over to others. So that first ignition spread all over the world. Are you ready? That's what you should. Are you ready for ministry? When they talk about ministry, people run away. If we keep running the way and we have the mindset we have about ministry, if we keep doing it that way, one day Nigeria will be 98% Islamic people. See, don't deceive yourself with all this, with churches that are packed full. When you do this, the church will be packed full, but it will be packed full with disciples. Not churchgoers. That is all you see in our ministry. There's nothing we don't do. When I was young, the system I came off from, women ministry, men ministry, youth ministry, only one person, only one youth president, one women president, he's the one that will be teaching boring message all around here. So the rest, even when you come for that thing that is meant to be a structure, you come there, you still sit down. You don't have a job. It will be a duplication of a smaller church. No. The Bible said that the system must be in such a way that everybody is equipped. So the minister engages in his area of gifting and at the same time multiplies himself by training. So number one, how many of you are ready to release yourself to be trained with the ideology to train others. Not so that you come and take and go. You know that when this thing becomes the case, where you worship and when you worship will no longer be a problem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because, for example, if you are to go and train people in a figure, you'll be looking at the bigger picture, which is the kingdom mandate that is spreading. They won't tell you, we are sending you to figure now, go and oversee things that are there, and it's still 12 people, or maybe there are still 20 people, but they don't have AC, they don't have also tight musical instruments, their choir don't have uniform yet, they don't have feedback, they don't have good mics. You see why those things are a problem for people? Say, no, I want to stay where Ampa is. There's something I wanted to say now, but no. It's 72 Upper New Market Road I want to be coming. No, I like their choir. You see, you know that person is a child. Look at it. Because if you have the global mandate and the commission, even if where they sent you is a thatch house, and you come there, you are happy to duplicate people. You will be preaching, people will say, such energy, preaching to 12 people. You will keep showing up because you are not showing up for the AC. You are not showing up because of the camera. You are not showing up because of the choir people. That's what I begged all the pastors. The service didn't go on. Today, instrumentalists didn't come. The service don't go on. You see that we put emphasis. The reasons we will give God, they are funny. Reasons you will give God. Why you didn't say? You say, I didn't get a hotel. I didn't get a hotel that was, I went that area. The hotel that I saw is costly. God will say, did I send you to hotels? If the hotel is there, good. If the accommodation is there, good. But was it part of the mandate? Was the mandate not duplicate people? Why didn't you gather them in your house? Until we all imagine that just the number of people that are here understand this. How many expressions do you think we will have in the next 1 year?